Now then, do you fear death? The age-old question has puzzled and holy fuck, this is more difficult than I even imagined. I believe that I have solved the equation of us fearing death, and I also believe that I am able to liberate us from the fear of our sudden demise. As you see, there is no comprehending what we haven't experienced. So, we are naturally afraid of losing all this that we have so desperately trying to we have tried to cling on and create our own reality with our achievements and our bodies and other merits that we might be able to accumulate along these years. Well then, it is all. How should we should tread carefully when talking about these things. You can always they can always come at you with counter arguments. So you need to be prepared to defend your argument from all possible angles. So that is why it is never easy to construct a believable argument concerning life, or even bigger quote marks, existence after death. Well, I think I had a revelation just now. I was reading this Finnish forum called Ylilauta, where all the great minds gather to exchange ideas about life after death. And we were having a discourse, as you put it. And I better get on with the point now, because otherwise I will all only be dodging the argument. So that would be intellectual dishonest activity. Right. We have created this fear of non-existing. We have created this fear of non-existing, but the fear itself is all only a fabrication. You see, we are clinging on to our existence, such as it is programmed into us. So all of it, all the fear and the clinging and the insecurities about not existing, they are all very unreal things, but they seem real to us because of how our mind is constructed. So when you learn to not take all of the signals that your mind is sending, don't take them too seriously. This will empower you, or at the very least, relieve you from the pressures of existing. Because as it stands, we don't know what is beyond the border of death. Of course, we can probably assume that there is nothing, but the nothingness travels very fast, you see. So, if I were to have an image of self, like I do now, I would probably be reborn, as you put it, in a similar state of existence, because the way I experience myself is a very similar state like a family member or anyone else, a human being might experience their existence. They think that they are, well, not heroes, but a central character in their narratives. So they will have some difficulty um, empathizing with others. And this is only natural because we are not them, although in a sense we are them and they are we. because uh, the sentience that we have, the base, the foundation of sentient living, would we be able to argue that at the core it is very similar to each and every one of us, but then we get um, um, the difference of personalities by growing up in different environments, having the struggles of our lives, um, what kind of family we are raised in, what kind of trauma we go through when growing up. It all gets laid on a top of our I was going to use the word spiritual foundation, but that would have been maybe even slightly arrogant, I think, to use any words. Such bold words I would readily dodge. So then, it is a construct, not necessarily something that you should trust, because I've had a lot of pain, and I am not here to negate your pain, my dear listener or viewer, but I have experienced pain, suffering, mental issues, insecurities, and almost a crippling sense of a crippling fear of death. Right. But as of late, someone might call this a depersonalization of sorts. I have come to realize that it feels like a distant dream, but also like a fabrication to me. It doesn't feel real. Then again, one might pose a question, what is real? But now I have at the very least felt a sense of, even a small sense of relief after not taking any of this so seriously. The signals that my body is sending, my mind or whatever. I had the base argument really well constructed, but as you know, I am not a native speaker in the English tongue, so it is really difficult for me to form a coherent sentence. When we would argue that we fear what we do not understand, I would also avoid making that argument, because I think that what I am about to say is very similar to what I just said. So I'm talking myself into a bag, puhun itseni pussiin in this context, like talking yourself into a bag. Well, this video is kinda long, so now I should probably wrap it up by some pseudo-intelligent argument. I think that the fear is just a construct. I'm not here to argue that there would be anything after my consciousness ceases to exist, but I am here to argue that we shouldn't probably trust the fear and anxiety of not comprehending things on the other side, or the nothingness that awaits us. So this is yet again a bold statement coming from me, but do not try to analyze what is at the other side, but rather trust in not trusting your senses, because they are only a fabrication, I think. Maybe they are even a part of our natural sense of self-preservation that even extends beyond our need to carry on with our seed. It might even be a constant worry of, will I be remembered when I have passed on? So we have such a strong sense of self-preservation that drives us that we might even stoop so low to make these kind of videos. In our desperation of self-preservation, even if we are unable to preserve our physical and mental projections of self, we might want to make a video that will be which will serve like a digital backup of our existence. So such desperate measures from a limited mind, I think. It's very confusing at times, and it's even harder to make sense of these thoughts when you are trying to make them crisp, clear in English, which is nigh impossible. But I have tried, I have attempted today to communicate with you guys. So then, I will now return. It's really doesn't really look like spring today, but it was to be expected that these kind of weather phenomena are very commonplace indeed in Finland. So it's nothing to be shocked about. I'm hoping to fine tune. It's not necessarily even an argument, but something for myself to pursue so that I can relieve myself from some of the anxieties that come with non-existence. So then, I bid you all a very warm and a pleasant Saturday morning. It is morning, I think, here in Finland, and I think I have nothing to add here. It could have been worse, could have been better, but these are some of the thoughts that came to me during this at this time. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.